Students, you are welcome again in this lecture of Science and Technology Part 2, and we are studying the chapter number 6, Animal Classification. So students, today we are going to study about the phylum Chordata. Remember, the animals in the phylum Chordata, they possesses the supporting notochord in their body, and all the chordates, they are included in the same phylum. So the phylum Chordata, it is classified into the three subphyla. So they are called as the subphylum Urochordata, then the subphylum Cephalochordata, and the subphylum Vertebrata. Remember, the notochord, it is present in the body during at least any development stage in the body of the chordata. Then the second important characteristic of the phylum Chordata is the pharyngeal gill slits. They are present in the body during at least any development stage. Then a single tubular spinal cord is present on the dorsal side of the body, and the heart is present on the ventral side of body. Let us study the subphylum Urochordata. Remember, the the animals included in the subphylum Urochordata, they are the marine animals. What it mean by marine? They lives in a seawater. Then the body is covered by a skin like test or tunic. Then the third important characteristic is the larvae of these animals, they are freely swimming, and a notochord is present in only tail region of the larvae. Therefore, they are called as the Urochordata. Then the larvae, it metamorphose in the adults after settling down at the bottom of the sea. And generally, these animals, they are the hermaphrodite. Remember, the examples of the Urochordata are the Doliolum, then the Herdmania, etc. So you can see here in this picture, the Doliolum and the Herdmania, they are shown here. The next subphylum is Cephalochordata. Those are very small fish-like marine animals, and the notochord is present throughout the body length. So here in this picture, you can see that the animal in the subphylum Cephalochordata, it is shown here, and the pharynx is very large and it contains the gill slits. You can see here in this picture, the gill slits are present, and those animals, they are the unisexual. The example is the Amphioxus. Then the next subphylum is the phylum Vertebrata, which is also called as Craniata. So in these animals, the notochord, it is replaced by vertebral column. Remember, we are also included in the subphylum Vertebrata. So in these animals, the head is well developed, then the brain is protected by the cranium. Cranium means the skull, which is the outer bony covering which protects the brain from the external injuries. Then the endoskeleton is either cartilaginous or bony. What is meant by endoskeleton? Endo means internal, skeleton means the structure which supports the body. So it is made up of either cartilage or the bone. Then some chordates, they are jawless, whereas some are with jaws. Then remember, the subphylum Vertebrata, it is divided into the 6 classes. So the classes are as follows. Remember, the first class is the Cyclostomata. Then the second is the class Pisces. Third is the class Amphibia. Fourth is the class Reptilia. Fifth is the class Aves. Sixth is the class Mammalia. So in this manner, those are the 6 classes in which the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata is divided. I would like to repeat them again. Class Cyclostomata, class Pisces, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves, and class Mammalia. So let us study all those classes one by one. We are going to see some important characteristics of those classes. So the first class which we are going to study is the class Cyclostomata. Remember, the animals in the Cyclostomata, they possess the jawless mouth which is provided with the sucker. Here a petromyzon is shown, and you can see that the mouth is in form of sucker. Their skin is soft and without any scale, and the pair appendages are not present in their body. Their endoskeleton is cartilaginous, and most of the animals, they are ectoparasites. The examples might be given are the petromyzon, then the myxine, etc. Then the next class which we are going to study is the class Pisces. Pisces means fishes. So remember, the fishes or the Pisces, they are cold-blooded animals and they are aquatic ones. What it mean by cold-blooded animals? Remember, the animals, if they do changes their body temperature according to the change in the temperature of surrounding, then they are called as the cold-blooded animals. So when we study the class Pisces, they are the aquatic animals. They lives in a marine or the fresh water. So remember, when the temperature of water get decreased down, the body temperature of Pisces also get decreased down, and when the temperature of water get increased, the body temperature of Pisces also get increased. Then their body is spindle shaped to minimize the water resistance. What it mean by spindle shape? That it means the body is slender at both side, to the front and the back side. Then they have paired and unpaired fins for swimming purpose, and the tail fin is useful as the steering organ during the swimming. That means it uses the tail fin for what purpose? To change the direction in water. Then the exoskeleton is in the form of scales, and the endoskeleton is either cartilaginous or the bony one. Remember, the respiration of the Pisces, it occurs through the gills. The gills are the organs which are useful for the purpose respiration. The examples are the rohu, then the pomfret, then the seahorse, shark, electric ray, stingray, etc. So here a dogfish or the scoliodon is shown in this picture. You can see that the mouth, eye, lateral fin, dorsal fin, then the ventral fin, caudal fin, pelvic fin, pectoral fin, and the gill slits are the organ present in this type of fish. Then the next class which we are going to study is the class Amphibia. Remember, the amphibians are the animals. They are strictly aquatic during the larval life, and they perform only aquatic respiration, whereas they can live in water as well as on the land during the adult life, and they can perform the aquatic as well as aerial respiration. Remember, the aquatic respiration and the aerial respiration, it is the different type of respiration, because the aquatic respiration is a type of respiration in which the oxygen which is dissolved in the water is used, whereas in the aerial respiration, the oxygen in the air, it is utilized there. Remember, the external ear is absent, but the tympanum is present in the amphibia, and the neck is absent. Eyes are prominent with eyelids. The examples of the amphibia are the frog, then the toad, then the salamander, etc. Now the next class which we are going to study is the class Reptilia. It is the class Reptilia. And remember, according to the course of animal evolution, those are the first true terrestrial animals with creeping movement. Remember, these are the cold-blooded, and they creep on the land as their body, it cannot be lifted up. So remember, their skin is dry and scaly. The neck is present between the head and trunk, and the external ear is absent there. The digits are provided with the claws, and the examples are the tortoise, lizards, snakes, etc. Here you can see the picture of wall lizard, and it possesses all the characteristics which we discussed right now. Then the next class which we are going to study is the class Aves. Aves means birds. So those are the vertebrates, and they are completely adapted for the aerial mode of life. Remember, those are warm-blooded, and what it mean by the warm-blooded? That they can maintain their body temperature constant, although the temperature of surrounding it gets changed. Then their body is spindle shaped to minimize the air resistance during the flight. You can see the body, it is slender towards the head and the tail region. Then the forelimbs, they are modified into wings. You can see the birds, they do possess only hind limbs, and the forelimbs means the front limbs, they are modified into the wings, and the digits are, they are covered with the scales and they bear the claws. Then the exoskeleton is present in the form of feathers only, and the neck is present between head and trunk. The jaws, they are modified into the beak. You can see that here in this picture also the beak is shown there. And the examples are peacock, then the parrot, then the pigeon, then the duck, then the penguin, etc. So in this manner, in this picture the pigeon is shown, and you can see the organs like beak, head, eyes, neck, then the claws, and the feathers are also there. So remember, the next class which we are going to study is the last class, which is called as the class Mammalia, and I just told you that we are also included in the class Mammalia. So the presence of mammary glands is a typical characters of the Mammalia. What it mean by mammary glands? The glands which secretes the milk. So all the mammals, they do possess the mammary glands. So those are animals which are the warm blooded. Again, they can maintain their body temperature. The body is divided into the head, neck, trunk and tail. The digits are provided with the nails, claws or the hoofs, and the exoskeleton is in the form of hairs or fur. The examples are elephant, then the human, then the kangaroo, dolphin, bat. Yes, bat is also included in the class Mammalia. You might get confused that the bat, it flies like a bird, but remember, it is not a bird, it is a mammal, and instead of having the wings, it has the patagium, and it possesses the legs, body, eyes, and the important characteristic that it do possess the mammary gland, so it is the mammal. Remember, the classes which we studied, they are very important, and the phylums which we studied, they are also very important, which are categorized on the basis of some important characteristics that the body organization, body symmetry, body cavity, and those phylums are formed. So here we studied the classification of animals. So you can observe now the animals which are in your surrounding, and you may classify them into the different groups according to the presence and absence of those characteristics. So we are going to stop here. You may use various internet websites to gather the different information about the animals. Thank you very much.